Mai Magi here, and today it is all about the dark elf and their beautiful hair. This tutorial is inspired by the darker side of elves, everything from night elves to drows to sort of, the dark elves that are represented in fantasy, because I really love the bright and cheerful elves, but I feel like, especially in Tolkien and also in other fantasy settings, there's a lot of room for sort of like the more darker twilight elf, and that is what we're looking at today. If you're wondering how I did this quite over the top makeup, there will be a makeup tutorial up on my channel within the week. If you're watching this well after the published date, it's probably already up. The extensions used in this tutorial are from VPFASHION and they're dyed by myself. And all the hair accessories, we're going to be using a bunch of super cool hair accessories. They're all from VPFASHION as well. I will put a link in the description to everything. So, without further ado, let's get started so we can all get beautiful and dark elvish together. Now, the first hairstyle is a classic half up, half down hairstyle, and these can be done with your own hair, or you can add extensions. I'm gonna add extensions because it's fun, but you don't have to. You might be thinking, wow, Mai, it's so easy for you to do a night elf hair because you already have blue hair. And of course you're right, but I'm attempting to make styles that hopefully look nice and elvish on everyone, no matter their hair color. So you can either just clip up half your hair to begin with and just have it like this, or you can clip up half your hair and then you can add 2 wefts of extensions here. And I'm gonna do that. So now I've added 2 wefts of extensions in the back, and looks really weird, don't worry, like, what is this? It's supposed to look weird. So the half up, half down hairstyle is like one of my favorites for that sort of elvish look. So yeah, let's get ahead. There's a bunch of ways to do it. You can keep it up in a clip just like this. And the way to disguise the sort of weird front thing that's happening is that you use the 1 clip extensions in front of your ears. Now, this is like my favorite extension magic trick. It works every time. Now, if you're like me and you have very short hair and you have these sort of weird... there we go. You have these sort of weird short bits down here in the front. You can take away the extensions here. You can take the short bits and you can gather them in like a little tiny ponytail that's hidden underneath the rest. There you go. So now that you've tied away your shorter hair, it doesn't come down here and look weird. What does look weird, however, is this. Like, what's going on with this? You can either pin it back or tuck it behind your ear, depending on how long your hair is. I personally think this looks really cute, where you tuck it behind your ear and then you have the long extension coming down. It also really makes it look natural up here because you cover where you clipped in the extension with your own hair. So you can totally leave it like this with I just used this clip here. You can totally just leave it like this. That's also really cute. But if you want to elaborate a bit, let me show you a few different ways to handle the top part of the hair. I'm really sorry, but I had to remove the dark lipstick. It was getting on my nerves. It's an NYX one, and I usually really like that brand, but this one is a do-over. It's not good. It's dry and uncomfortable. But yeah, so sorry for the slight change of look. Dark blue lipstick is not required to complete this tutorial. So we're going to deal with what's up here. So as I said, you can totally keep it in this clip if you want to. I know these are usually used for like, oh, I'm just keeping my hair up, but I actually think they're really cute. But there are a few different things you can do. One of them that I really like, first of all, let's make sure everything is laying nice and flat. One that I really like is to make sort of like a messy bun. This also hides if you have a hair length that's not the same as the length of your extensions. You can make a messy bun like so. And if you want to, if you feel like your ends are too mismatching to the extensions, or even if you're not wearing extensions, you can take the ends of your the ends of your real hair, you can twist them up just above, and then you can add a cool hair accessory and you can hide the ends like that. Another thing you can do if you don't want a bun is you can do sort of like a little tiny ponytail. This works best if your hair matches your extensions really well, or if your hair is about the same length as your extensions. But what you're going to do is, once again, make sure the hair is kind of smooth looking. There we are. Make a ponytail, but make it slightly loose. Because if it is a little bit looser, it will hang down a bit and it will cover the extension clips. So, cute little ponytail. You can also accessorize this ponytail if you want to. Or if you want to take it a little further, take the ponytail, pull the elastic more away from your head, about like 5 centimeters away from your head. Make a hole in the ponytail, like so, and flip the ponytail through itself. So what you're making here is a twist, and it looks really cute. The twist can, of course, be accessorized with any of the accessories we used before, and you can make it sort of shorter, longer, wider, however you want. So that is the first variation on hairstyle, which is the half up, half down. This next hairstyle is slightly more wild. It's a faux side cut, side swept hairstyle. And by the way, on a note, if you just want your own hair to look sort of elvish, I think that tucking most of it behind your ear and having this little sort of thing out here really helps. It really gives that sort of elvish vibe. And then just split it down the middle and comb the rest back. So it's a little on the go tip there. But now we're gonna go for a slightly more wild, elvish hairstyle. This might be good for like parties or events, or if you're just feeling like extra fancy like on a regular day. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your hairbrush and you're going to pat your hair far to the side. Now how far you want to go depends on your preferences and also the thickness of your hair. I have a medium thickness, straight Scandinavian hair, so I'm just going to pat it here compared to my ear. This already looks pretty cute and elvish, so also like a far side swept hairstyle can also really get that look. Once again, this little thing in front of the ear really helps get that vibe. But let's extend it a little bit. So I'm gonna take slightly more hair to have in front of my ear, and this hair we're gonna deal with later, but you could do a bunch of things with this hair. So there are a few different options here. If you want to, if you don't feel confident in braiding and stuff like that, you can just take this portion here and you can slick it back real tight and you can pin it. But we're going to go for the next level and we're going to braid it. So take the section that we're going to braid, it's this section, and everything else, get it out of the way. Get the whole thing out of the way, because trying to braid while you have other things happening than the hair you're trying to braid is a recipe for disaster. So I'm going to take all the rest of the hair and I'm going to pin it away. I just dropped some accessories. Sorry. So take all the hair and pin it away and sort of drag the hair clip away from the section. So now we have a section in front of the ear and we have a section behind the ear. We're only going to work right now with the section behind the ear. Once again, if you don't feel like braiding, just take this, slick it back and pin it underneath the section you pinned away. But let's go for a braid. You can either go for 1 braid or 2 braids or 3 braids, also depending on how large you make this section. I'm just going to go for 1, and I'm going to go with a Dutch braid. A Dutch braid is where you go under instead of over like you do in a French braid, and that makes the braid sit on top of your hair rather than underneath. If you don't feel like you are good at French braiding, I am happy to say that I've found some excellent French braiding tutorials right here on YouTube. They are all like really good and really well explained. So that's why I'm not gonna do like a French braiding tutorial right now, because I feel like it's already a bunch and they're already like really, really good. So go ahead, braid that section. French braid as far as you can. And once you're well behind your ear, just continue the braid down in a regular braid. So once you're done, sorry, my hair is itching, take a clear elastic, tiny clear elastic, and finish off the braid. If you want to, you can pull apart the braid a little bit. That sometimes gives a bit more volume. So you go up here and you sort of tuck and pull on the sides of the braid. That sort of bulks it up a little bit. So now you have the side of your hair braided back. Cool, right? This hairstyle right now is really avant-garde. Kind of feel like that could work. So take a bobby pin and pin the braid underneath the other section, like hopefully as far underneath as you can go. I have an undercut, makes it more difficult, doesn't make it impossible. There we go. And since the hair on the other side is not going to go like down, it doesn't really matter how you pin it, because the other section is gonna be wild. So the braid is pinned back, this hair is down. Let's deal with this bird nest right now. So sweep the hair. Ah, yes. Someone, like, for a while, a lot of people were commenting when I got my undercut, like, oh, but your hair is so thin. Just putting it out there, my hair is not thin. I actually have quite a lot of it. So there are a bunch of ways to deal with, maybe, yeah, now that you've taken the hair down, you can correct the bobby pins if they're not quite right. So there are lots of ways to deal with this hair. I really, really like the sort of glammy, very voluminous here, and you can always back comb it a little bit up here. Remember to back comb it where it can't be seen. So only at the roots, only a little bit. There you go. And you get this sort of like, almost like a trad goth vibe to this hair now. So you're doing like a far side swept, lot of volume on one side, and on the other side, little braid. Piece of hair. This looks really cool on its own. If you want to, you can add a bunch of small braids in here. That also looks really, really nice. You can also add extensions to this side, and that looks really cool. So I'm gonna do that. If you're not interested in that, just like skip that part. And there we go. The super dramatic side swept elf hair, also with a little hit of like trad goth glam rock. Now I know I said before that I actually have pretty thick hair, even though it might not appear so because my hair is so short, but this can all be done with also thin hair. Extensions are a really good option if you have thin hair. And since we are expanding constantly upon the hairstyles, you can keep it like this, or if you want to go really fancy, you can braid this side. And this is a really cute hairstyle, I think. If you're like me and you have bangs, you gotta twist those bangs into the braid. So what I do is I take two strands and just twist them around each other. Now I just have to do this because I'm growing out my bangs, but it's also a really good way to blend your extensions. And you can even just do this part with the bangs and not even continue it into the braid. You can just sort of pin it or tie it off here, and it looks really, really cute just with this. But let's just go all the way. Let's just go make that braid, because I've always been a sucker for a large side braid. So as you come down here, split all the hair into 3 sections. And just really, really loosely and calmly braid it. It's not going to be a perfect, super tight braid. That's not what we're going for. And if you feel like it, tie it off the clear elastic. And with this, I really like pulling it apart. Also helps with hiding the varying hair lengths. So pull it apart to really give it that sort of messy look. Let it go, let it go. Don't we get sort of like Night Elf Elsa vibes here? Anyway, oh, there's a little thing happening there. Of course, just like pin that back with the rest. So here we are. This is a super, super cute side braid. Can be done with or without extensions. Of course, you need slightly longer hair than I naturally have. And you can decide on the messiness of this braid yourself. I personally really like a messy braid. And there we go. This braid is ideal for cute hair accessories, and I really, really like this sort of glittery dangly moon thing I got from VPFASHION. I feel like it could go really well down the braid like this. There we go, like this. I feel like it goes really cutely with the braid. And there's this little bit poking up that we're just gonna hide with some more hair. Hey, there we are. If you don't have a really cute hair accessory like this, you can put on an earring. I mean, they go really well with a side braid like this as well. And actually a big earring in the other ear can also look really, really cute. I personally love asymmetry. I think it looks really, really neat. I don't know if it's because I'm like a 90s kid who grew up with these like really side-swept hairstyles, but if you want more symmetry, you can wear earrings. Now this last hairstyle goes from the side-swept one and sort of just elaborates on that. And this one is also like quite elaborate, like quite cool, I think. I feel like these hairstyles are pretty good because the first half up, half down one is very, you can wear that on a regular basis, you can dress it up and down. The side one with the braid is a little bit more elaborate, and now we're going for like the festival one. So first take out the hairpins. And if you didn't watch or didn't do the previous hairstyle, it's just a French braid, so just behind the ear, and then a regular braid finished down in the last step. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do the same thing on the other side. So take the middle part of hair that sort of makes this whole thing symmetrical, if you know what I mean, and desperately try to find your hairbrush in this whole mess, and get that out of the way. So try to make a slightly, like as clean a parting as you can. So take everything that's not going to go into the braid and pin it away. So as with before, it's a section just behind the ear. I'm sorry, you know, I'm not a hairdresser, so I don't have like the technical terms down, but we're taking a chunk just behind the ear, and it should be about the same as the other side. Take the rest and clip it out of the way. So we're going to take another chunk like over here and keep it in front of the ear, because as we've all learned already, this looks really elvish, and I like sort of just like twisting it around a little bit because I like having it as like one strand. Then take the rest and braid it. There you go, 2 braids, 2 front ear pieces, all the rest of your hair up in a clip. Now, there are multiple ways to go with this, as with all the hairstyles. You can actually just keep it up like this, maybe in like a loose bun. And then you can pin up the braids. So you have your hair up here, and there are braids on the side, and you can cover the braids in the back with a cute hair accessory if you want to. You can put it just below the bun if you want, or you can put it at the side. Like, I feel like hair accessories really sort of make a hairstyle, especially a fantasy hairstyle. I feel like it really helps. So that's one option. I've taken down these. Of course, you can also do a ponytail or anything up here. But I promised an elaborate hairstyle, and we are gonna get an elaborate hairstyle. We're gonna get a festival level hairstyle. Now, depending on how much hair you have left, you might need extensions, you might need dreadlocks or anything to sort of get this volume going. You can totally do this with your own hair as well, but you can also incorporate a lot of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a sort of mohawk thing. Yes, let's do that. The way we do that is that we do a French braid, and this, or sorry, a Dutch braid. Dutch braid, once again, is where you go under the middle piece instead of over. And we're trying to get a lot of volume here. We're trying to do this really messily. You're not trying to make a perfect Dutch braid at all. So start braiding, and you can continue this for as long as you like, but I personally really like when the hair at the back is out and not in the braid. So once I get to sort of like the crown, the top of my head, I am gonna just braid it. Stop it from being a Dutch braid and just braid it regularly. It's difficult to get the whole thing in the frame. And then in the end, just tie it off. Since we are going for a really, really messy mohawk look, this is too clean. So let's start pulling this thing apart. Sort of really get that volume there. And there you have it, sort of a nice faux mohawk, side braided, top braided niceness. And that's it for the more elaborate faux hawk night elf hairstyle. I really hope you guys like this tutorial. I have been asked to do more makeup and hair tutorials. I'm not an expert, really. I've only recently actually started doing things with my hair. So I hope you like this, and I hope that it was okay, even though I am very much aware that I'm not really very good with hair. So I hope this tutorial helped you connect with your inner elf self, and if you try any of these hairstyles, I would love to see. And I just hope you have an awesome day.